Right, lads, welcome back to Ben Does FM and my Millwall save on the updated 25-26 database. A little bit of a shorter video today. We are going to do a quick roundup of the first 6 league games of the season. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have made an absolutely unbelievable start to the season. Going to do a quick recap, have a look at who's performed well, some of the players that we've brought in, have a look at how they've performed over the first 6 games. We're also going to continue with having a look at how we want to strengthen. We've got a little bit of budget left, but a little bit of a shorter video, a little bit of an early season recap. Let's get straight into it. As you can see, fellas, first 6 games, we are top of the league. So we are top of the league. We are absolutely flying at the moment. 6 games in, 5 wins and 1 draw. That 1 draw came against Cardiff and we were 2-0 up and we blew a 2-0 lead. So we could be 6 from 6. What makes it even sweeter is that we are above Palace, who got relegated last season. As you can see here, a few of the player stats, the players that have performed well this season so far. Luke Cundle, he has been in absolutely top form in that shadow striker position. Josh Coburn is sharing the top goal scorer honours with him with 4 goals. In terms of highest average rating, again, Luke Cundle is taking that one with a ridiculous 7.47. If he keeps that up, I would say we're almost certainly going to get promoted. That new contract we gave him at the back end of last year was well worth it. As I said, there were some European sides. Montpellier was sniffing around him, but since we gave him that new contract, I mean, he's just performed ridiculously well. Joe Bryan has got the most assists. We're not going to bother with the other ones. But yeah, they are the top performers so far this season. We're going to go in now and have a look at the game by game sort of analysis. We've done the first 3 games on the season. So that, as you know, we beat Sheffield Wednesday. Beat Oldham on penalties. Again, we were 2-0 up there, which was a little bit disappointing. We beat Oxford quite comfortably. Portsmouth, same story. We won the game. We weren't great. We struggled. Look, you can see here a lot of players played in the 6s. It was a pretty bang average game from our perspective, but we did manage to nick it. An Adrian Mazilu goal. He's been pretty good for us, the 18-year-old who has come in on loan. As I said, we'll go into the players we've signed in more detail at the moment and see how they've started. But he scored the only goal of the game. It was a pretty tight affair. Not much happened, but we did manage to nick it, which is the most important thing. As I said, 2-0 up here against Cardiff, and they scored an 86th and 90th minute goal, which was gutting. Obviously, a big part of their XG there was the penalty, but we battered them. We should have won. We were comfortable. We let them back in the game. It was a really disappointing result in the end, considering we were 2-0 up. That's the only blip so far this season. We beat Preston very easily. We had a ridiculous game against Luton in the League Cup. This was as topsy-turvy as you can get. We were 2-0 down. We got it back to... Sorry, we were 2-0 down, 2-1, 3-1 down. We then managed to get it to 3-3. They then scored in the 90th minute. It was an absolute howler, and I will just show you this goal in the 90th minute. It was an absolute nightmare from Marcel Lochter and I think Erin Cashin. It was just a stinker. Look at the state of this. Marcel Lochter's come out, Cashin's tackled him, and Chong has just stuck it in an empty net. That I thought was obviously game over. But Luke Cundle went down the other end, and Luke Cundle did Luke Cundle things. We nicked it. We got it in the box, and Luke Cundle scored an absolute screamer to make it 4-4 deep in added time. And then we went on to win the penalties, which was, if you're a neutral, you're absolutely buzzing about that game. Hopefully it was on Sky Sports. As I say, 4-4, we managed to progress past Luton, and then we battered a Huddersfield side who had Murray Wallace and Duncan Watmore in. As I said, we are flying. Couldn't be happier with the start to the season. If there was any doubt in whether we had any playoff hangover from last year, certainly not the case. We're top of the league. We're above Palace. We're above Everton. You just love to see it. We're now going to take a look at the new signings, how they've performed, and we'll just do another little wrap up to some transfers, having a look where we might bring some players in. Right, so then, fellas, in terms of the squad and players that we've brought in, just going to do a quick recap on how they've performed so far. Nicholas Opoku, pretty solid. As you can see here, has done reasonably well, has come in and pretty much got a 7.0 rating, 6.96 to be precise, but pretty much 7. It's been pretty solid, has started a few games. Has just done what I expected him to do. He's come in and been a solid centre half for us, a good addition, certainly on a free transfer. Erin Cashin, he's coming on loan. He's dipped in and out the side. We haven't played him a great deal. Who else do we bring in? So Domagoj, I'm going to butcher this name. Bradaric, we're just going to go with. We're not going to go with his first name. Bradaric, he came in from Spurs. We actually paid £2.1 million for him. As you can see here, good championship player to potentially a leading championship player. He's come in, his value's increased already. That isn't 2.1 million up front. I just do want to stress that. It is made up of instalments. We didn't pay 2.1 million up front for him. So he's come in. I think he's going to be our long-term successor to Joe Bryan. So him and Joe Bryan are obviously going to battle out that left wing-back position. Andreas Salazar, we signed him. He's going to progress nicely for us. He's only 21. We signed him for 600k. He's already worth pretty much treble that at least. He got an injury though, unfortunately, in the game before. It might have been the Luton game. Not a long-term one, as you see. He's pretty much back already, but he's going to progress nicely. He's done okay. He was actually sat in our youth team. We also brought in Adrian Mazilu from Brighton. As you can see down here, his form has been excellent. For an 18-year-old coming straight into the Championship with not much first-team experience, he's done really well. 2 goals and an assist in 6 appearances, average rating of 7.08. Couldn't be happier with him. Gautier Ott, someone that I've highlighted quite a bit in the end of season review and transfer special last year. Signed for 800k, 1 goal, 2 assists so far, 7.05 average rating. He's been pretty solid, done really well. Victor Munoz hasn't played a great deal for us. He did play in the Cup against Oldham, didn't have the best of games, then got a little bit of a knock. I'm not expecting him to play a huge part of in the squad this season, but again, I did mention it. We signed him on a free, and look at that value. So even if we get the bottom end of that, it's a really good signing for us. Someone that I am interested in, and I've tweaked his position. We are training Jeremiah Perez Ticker to play wide left. I think he can be a very good inside forward in the Championship at very least. I said when we signed him, I had concerns about how we were going to play him, how we were going to fit him in our system. Obviously, we play with 1 striker and a target forward. He's 5'7". He's just not gonna. He's not going to be the target forward for us. So we are retraining him to play as a wide left midfielder. I think he can do well for us there. Also adds a little bit of depth. I was thinking about moving him back into a shadow striker. His passing isn't great for that, so decided against it. We also needed someone else that could play out on the left. So we are retraining him there. That is the roundup of the ins and outs. We are now just going to have a quick look at potential transfers that we are still looking for before the end of the summer transfer window. So then, chaps, into the transfers and what we've got currently pending at the moment. Stefan Diarra wasn't someone that I wanted to lose. I really thought he'd be a useful squad player for us at very worst this year. He wants a new contract. He become unhappy. The squad then were backing him up. I didn't want to pay him what he wanted, so we decided to transfer list him, and there is interest, as you can see here. Aberdeen have offered 1.7 million, rising to 3.5. We're basically getting 3 million plus some add-ons, which are pretty achievable. NAC Breda from Holland, they are bidding 2.1 million plus the loan. We're actually going to reject that and see if he will go, make sure he goes to Aberdeen because we want the cash. We need the cash, and we'll go into the reason why in a sec. Auxerre, same thing, although they are willing to part with nearly 3.4 million, so we don't mind that. He's the only outgoing at the moment. We did tweak and look at potentially moving Souček on. We had a few bids for him, but nothing in the region that we wanted to accept. His value is about 4, 5, 6 million. We were getting bids for like 1 million. The board kept blocking it as well. So yeah, we just couldn't and didn't really want to move him on for that value. One player we are looking to bring in is Daniel Karlsbakk from Norway. He is at Sarpsborg. He's doing pretty well. He's got 13 goal contributions in 19 games in the first division of Norway. Now, I know not the greatest league in the world, but he looks like he could be a very useful player for us moving forward. 6'4". He's going to be a brute in the championship. He can play as an inside forward or a centre forward and can play on either wing. So for us, that is brilliant. He's going to fit in as a winger or a centre forward. Given that he's got 10 goals, I'm assuming that he's playing centre forward for Sarpsborg and the fact that he's got the number 9 shirt. So we might put him up there. He can play as a pressing forward. His heading isn't great, but he's got some pretty good physicals and he's 6'4". So Daniel Karlsbakk is potentially coming in. We really need that Stefan Diarra deal to go through, as you can see, because we haven't got a huge amount of wiggle room here, though. We only need 500k for that Karlsbakk deal to go through. So we are just going to tweak that, so it definitely will happen. But that's the ins, that's the outs. We will do... we won't actually. I was going to say we might do a transfer deadline day video. I might do, haven't decided. But that is the early season roundup. Hope you've enjoyed getting a little bit more insight as to how we started the season and some of the games. Had a little review there of the players that we've brought in and who will potentially be still incoming and still leaving the club. But that is the early season roundup. As ever, guys, if you haven't done so already, please give the channel a subscribe. Really appreciate everyone who has done so far. If you know of anyone who loves Football Manager content, please share the channel with them, share the episode with them, share any of the previous episodes from this save, the mini-series, anything at all would be greatly appreciated. We will see you on the next episode.